Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Teaching and Learning Center micro lecture, Microsoft Teams. My name is Abby, and I'm the IT Digital Media Specialist in the Teaching and Learning Center, and I will be your presenter today. Now, you may be asking yourself when you signed up for this session, what is a micro lecture? A micro lecture is a short and concise presentation that will provide you with an overview of a particular topic, and today's topic is Microsoft Teams. Alrighty, let's get moving. So I want to ask a question before we dive in, and if you can all place your answers in the chat, that would be great. So today I kind of want to get familiar with how many of you know about Skype or have used it within the Alamo colleges. Yes, so Skype was our old instant messaging software application that was used to connect with others across the district. While it was useful, it did have its limitations. For example, you could only have so many people added in a chat, I believe 12 or 15. So once you hit 12 or 15, you couldn't add anybody else. And those chats would need to be recreated every day, right? So if you were messaging a certain group of people, once you close out of Skype for the day, you would have to recreate that group. So it's awesome that Alamo Colleges has transitioned over to Teams, and I'm sure you guys are going to definitely love it. Alrighty, so let's now ask the question, what is Microsoft Teams? So Microsoft Teams is a collaboration app built for hybrid work so you and your team stay informed, organized, and connected all in one place. Microsoft Teams allows you to instant message in single and group chats, make video and voice calls, and share documents. We will explore all these possibilities today. With this in mind, let's take a look at our session outcomes. So by the end of this micro lecture, you will be able to walk away knowing how to, 1, apply settings in Microsoft Teams. So I'll show you how to create your account and we will review the settings you can use in Teams. 2, use the chat function. So one-on-one chats and a group chat. We'll look at both of those today. And then 3, identify Microsoft Team abilities. So there are a lot of cool abilities available in Teams, from sharing documents to using GIFs. Because this is a high-level overview of Microsoft Teams, if you would later like a one-on-one consultation to review more in-depth features or scenarios, we can definitely schedule something. So just let me know. My contact information will be available in the Zoom chat and at the end of this presentation to connect with me. Alrighty. So let's talk about something super, super important, right? So in order to use Microsoft Teams, we're going to have to set it up, right? So in order to access Microsoft Teams, everyone will need to sign up for their free Office 365 account offered through the Alamo colleges. Office 365 is a productivity cloud designed to help you with more than just apps like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint online. Office 365 also gives you access to Microsoft Teams. Cool, right? So there are a few ways to sign up, but since we are focusing on Teams today, I'm going to recommend using the following link to get your account up and running. I will post this in the chat. And then to ensure that we can cover as much content as possible, I won't walk you through the whole signing up process, but I will be providing you with a step-by-step guide that will ensure you are set up on Teams. Now, important to note before I move into the live demo, following the guide I created for you all, you'll find that you will be able to access Teams through your browser. However, I did leave a note on the guide that for the best experience with Microsoft Teams, it is recommended to download the desktop application. You're welcome to download the Teams desktop application to your computer on your own. If it's not properly downloading though, please contact our PAC IT help desk for installation assistance at 210-486-3777. So you're welcome to try to move along with me in Teams if you haven't already, or if you feel like, again, you want to utilize that guide after this presentation, you can definitely do that. We will have some time for questions after my live demo. So I am going to be doing a live demo today. So once you guys go through that, if you have any concerns or, want to practice something, we can definitely play with that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my screens. Alrighty, so we are now in Microsoft Teams. Welcome, welcome. We are in the desktop application. The browser view is going to look rather similar, but again, for the best experience, it is recommended to go ahead and get that desktop application installed, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and break down Teams piece by piece, and what we're gonna go ahead and start out with today is the left-hand side, which I like to call and refer to as the navigation bar. So it starts up here from the activity icon with the bell and goes all the way down to this mobile phone icon, okay? So let's go ahead and let's click on our activity, and what you'll notice is there is a little red bubble. It has a number, kind of just notifying me, hey, that there's something in there to go look at. So we're going to click on activity. And when I click on activity, I'm automatically going to see this feed right here. So the way I like to think about activity in Teams is very similar to Facebook notifications, right? So when someone makes a post on Facebook, people can react to it. So they can give it a thumbs up, they can heart the post, they can go like put the little gasp face to the post. Teams is very similar. So when you send somebody a chat, a message, they can react to that message. So they can give you a thumbs up, they can do the heart, they can do the little gasp face. So this will track all that activity that's going on with your message, okay? Also, Twitter. In Twitter, you can use the @ symbol to mention someone, right? So like, let's say McDonald's has an account and somebody wanted to mention McDonald's in a tweet, they can put @McDonald's and it will mention them. Very similar, you can also mention somebody in Teams and you can use the @ symbol. So if somebody did mention you, it's also going to show up in this feed. And you can see that one right here says, Abigail mentioned you. And I'm in the Palo Alto Teaching and Learning Center Microsoft Teams account right now. So the reason you see myself is because I was kind of messaging myself through this account as a test. And then also what you can see in your feed is missed calls. So you'll see it says missed call from Abigail. So I will be walking you all through on how to utilize calling through Teams a little bit later. Okay, this little down arrow, you can click on it. You can change it to my activity. There's not too much in there. I recommend just leaving it on feed. You can click on these 3-lined icon. And what it's going to take you to is a filter. So there's 2 ways to filter. You can filter by typing in someone's name. So let's say I wanted to look at just, things from my supervisor. I can type in Amanda's name, who is my supervisor, and I can be like, oh, okay, here's the activity that I've been receiving from her today. I can also utilize this 3-dotted icon, and I can filter specifically for unread activity, mentions, replies, reactions, missed calls, voicemails, and applications. So let's click on mentions. Oops, because I have Amanda's name in there, it was filtering for both at the same time. But if I click on @mentions, you can see Abigail mentioned me in certain chats, and then Corey is also there. So you can definitely filter for that. We do have this little gear icon, which reviews some settings. There are a lot of settings within Microsoft Teams. We're going to review those as we get further into the presentation, just because of how many there are. Alrighty. So let me go ahead, and we are now going to move on to the chat icon with a little bubble. And so this is our instant messaging area. And this is probably going to be one of the most used features within Teams that you'll utilize. So very similar to activity, you have a chat feed going on. So you can see I have some conversations pinned up here. I'll show you how to pin and what that means here in a second. And then you can also see I have some recent conversations or messages that I've been utilizing. Okay, so what you can also do is click on this little icon. You can create contacts. In my personal work account Teams, I don't really have too many contacts created, but if you'd like, you can definitely do that. Again, you do have the option to filter. So as you use Teams more and more, you will see that This feed right here will be something that you can scroll through depending on how many people you are talking to. So let's say I wanted to look at specifically for messages from Corey. I can type in her name and it's going to pull up specifically her messages versus me having to scroll through. And you do again have the option to click on this 3-dotted icon and you have some more filtering options. Okay. Then we have this lovely button, which is the new chat button. So it is a little square with a pencil. And so once you click on this, you are then going to be able to start a new conversation. So you'll see it says here, you're starting a new conversation, type your first message below. So if I was to type in my name, a chat is already going to kind of generate because I've already messaged myself. But if I hadn't messaged myself, this would be a clean and blank slate. But in order to message someone, all I'm going to do is go down here to where it says type a new message, and I'm going to say hi. And then I can hit enter, or I can click on this little paper airplane icon and click it, and it will send the message. Okay, so that is how you send an instant chat to somebody. Pretty simple, pretty fun. Now, the cool thing about Microsoft Teams is there's a lot of ways to customize your text that you're sending to somebody. So let me type out something here in this box. This is a test message. And let's say I wanted to play with the word test. I can click on this format button right here with the A and the pencil, and I can bold, I can italicize. I have an option over here to change the color of the font. So if I wanted to make it a dark blue, I could do a blue. I also have a highlighter tool right here. I can highlight it green if I would like. And you can see automatically it's changed the text. If I wanted to cross out some text, I could. There's paragraph options, there's alignment options, you can bullets, you can create tables. So lots of fun things that you can do here. And then all I have to do is simply hit send. Awesome. So now that message has gone through. And then what I can also do here is I do have the option to set delivery options. So once I click on this little exclamation mark, you have your standard message, which we just did, but you can click on the important icon. And once you do that, it's going to automatically come out with like a heading for you that shows that this message is important. And you can say, let's say, hi there. I need to look up a student who is at the front counter. So if I wanted to say something like that, you'll see it says, again, important. It kind of adds this like little red line over here, and then it puts the exclamation mark and a bubble showing that whoever you're messaging, that this is an important message, right? So put some urgency on it. Now, you do have the option to send an urgent message. This one's a little bit different than important. It will notify the person that you messaged every 2 minutes for 20 minutes about the message that you sent. So if you're going to use this one, make sure that you mean to use this one, because again, they'll get constant reminders every 2 minutes, right? So if there was an emergency going on, maybe this is something that you would utilize, okay? So we also do have the option to, and let me turn this off real quick. I'm going to change this back to standard because it's going to go as urgent. Let's say you wanted to share a document. You can also do that. So we can upload from my computer, and I'm just going to pick something that I have. Let me go ahead and get a document real quick. I'm going to do a test document, and I'm going to open it. And so it's a Word document, and I'm not going to type a message because I just want to send the document right now. So I'm going to hit send. And once I hit send, this document will now be within the files area of my chat. Okay, so if I click on files, you can see it says test document, and it was sent just now, and it was sent by the PAC TLC. So both Abigail and the Palo Alto Teaching and Learning Center can go to files and look at any documents that have been shared. Okay, so let's go ahead and click on this document so you can see what it looks like. So you'll see that once I click on it, the document will appear and it looks very similar to Microsoft Word. Now, I do have my personal account open in a different screen. And so you can see that I started to go in there and edit this document, even though it was sent through this account. So multiple people can go in here and edit it. Whoever's in the chat can do that. So it's very similar to kind of like Google Docs, how multiple people can go in there and edit a document. This is very, very similar. So it's a super cool feature. And you'll also notice, I'm going to come back to the chat, but there is a files icon in this navigation bar. So if we click on files, it's now going to show a list of all my recent documents that I've uploaded. So this can be Excel sheets, PowerPoints, Word doc. It's going to create a running list. So if you need to come find something, this is another place that you can look. So something else that we're going to take a look at is you do have the option to send emojis. All right, so everyone loves your emojis. You have those here. So let's see, how's it going? And you can use emojis. The funny thing about emojis is if you send them by yourself or by themselves, they are larger. So you'll see it's just real big. There's not really a way to shrink them down. I'm sorry about that. But that's our emojis. You do have the option to use GIFs. So if you wanted to use the word team, it's going to pull up a bunch of GIFs with different teams, right? So I'm going to use this Scooby-Doo one and I'm going to say go team, go. Alrighty, so we can use those. Those are really fun. They make the workday better. You also have the option for stickers. There's a variety in here. Now, we're not going to look too much at stream, which is this paper plane icon. We're not going to look at that too much. You do have praise in here. So if you wanted to send somebody praise for something that they did throughout the day, you can definitely do that. It's just taking a second to load and then I can show you. So there are badges, right? So if you click on this little drop down menu, you can change it to, let's say, thank you. And then you can add a personal note. So thank you for all your hard work today. And then you can hit send. You can preview it too if you would like, but you can hit send. And so you can send people praise, right? So the Teaching and Learning Center was sending Abigail praise today. You do have approvals. We won't look at that. Viva Learning, we won't look at that either. Updates, we're not going to look at that. And then we just have some apps, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. But those are the main functions within the chat. There is the option to call. I'm going to show you that here in a little bit. But yes, let's go ahead and continue on. So the next thing that we are going to move on to is Teams. So remember earlier, I was telling you all that with Skype, you had to recreate groups every day if you wanted to be chatting with a certain amount of people. A little bit of background history for myself. I used to work in the admissions office prior to this role, and that was something very, very common for me, is that my team was having to recreate Skype messages every morning with certain people on it so we could communicate. But with Teams, you don't have to do that. You just create one team and it's there every morning, every day, ready to go. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we are going to create a team. I'm not in any teams on this account, but I'm going to click create team. So you can click that actually up here or down here. So we're going to click create team, and then it's going to show you different team types. So you can read the description, see which one best suits you. But for today, we're just going to click on staff. Okay. And then I'm going to call this the PAC TLC team. You can name yours whatever you would like. You can add a description. And you can make this private or public. So for private, it says only team owners can add members, and then public, anyone in your organization can join. I recommend just leaving it on private, and you're going to go ahead and click on next, and it's going to create a team for us. So this is where we are going to add people. So I'm going to go ahead and start typing in my name because I'm going to add myself. And I'm going to click add, and then you'll see that it gives you a drop down menu where it says member or owner. If you want to make somebody an owner, that's awesome. As far as owners, they can add additional people into this team for you. They can also delete this team if they need to. So kind of just keep that in mind if you do make somebody an owner. If you don't want them to have like those admin privileges, you would just leave them as a member. But I'm going to make myself an owner today. And then you can just hit close and we have a team created, very similar to the chat. All you have to do is click on new conversation and you're going to see that there is an area to go ahead and start typing in a message. So I'm going to say, hi there. And I have sent my first message in my Teams chat. We can also click on the three-dotted icon and we're going to click on manage team. Actually, sorry, we're going to click on edit team and you can choose a icon or for your team account. So let's say we wanted to use this color wheel. We can use this color wheel and we can save. Okay, so it seems like Teams is having some technical difficulties. It might be the server or the internet connection, but usually one of these icons would go ahead and be updated right here. So instead of that blue square with the PT, you could use one of those icons or you can upload your own desired image. Okay, so that's everything on Teams. We're going to go ahead and continue on going through. As far as assignments, this isn't something that we're really going to review today. As far as calls go, this is something that is a super, super neat feature. So I know what you may be asking. We have Zoom. So why use another sort of video call or audio call in a completely different software? Well, I personally, in my account, I have like people who I message at district very often and we're just chatting and I don't have Zoom open and we want to do a quick call. So instead of making a new Zoom meeting with a Zoom meeting ID and everything like that and signing into the Zoom profile, I can actually just, by the click of a button, video call with them or audio call. So let me show you. I'm going to go back to the chat button and
Alrighty, so here in the upper right hand corner, you will see a video camera icon, which will allow you to do a video call, and right next to it, you will see a phone icon, which will allow you to do an audio call. Once you start the call, you will see yourself in the bottom right hand corner and the person you are calling in the center of your screen. Teams, very similar to Zoom, has the option to turn on backgrounds. To do this, click on the More icon in the toolbar at the top of your call, and then select Apply Background Effects. You will then be provided with a variety of backgrounds that you can apply. You may preview your background before using, or directly apply the one you have selected. You can use the camera button in the top toolbar to turn off your camera and/or use the mic button to mute yourself. If you would like, you do have the option to share your computer screen using the share button in the top toolbar. When you are done with your call, you will simply select the leave button in the upper right hand corner. The cool thing about Teams is that you can also make a video or audio call through a Teams chat. When you're in your selected Teams chat, you will then click on the Meet button in the upper right hand corner. You will then see a settings screen appear. Select your preferred settings and select Join Now. Everyone in the Teams chat that you call will have the option to join or decline the meeting.
So if we go back to the calls icon though, you can search by name for somebody that you would like to call if you're in this area. So let's say I wanted to call Amanda. I can type in her name and I can hit call. So I can call her directly. You do have a history of calls. So any outgoing or missed calls you can see here. You do have the option to utilize voicemails. I personally haven't left anybody a voicemail before. I will probably play with that a little bit more if you guys are definitely interested, but that is an option. Usually if they don't answer, I'll just message them and say, hi, like, just trying to get a hold of you. But yeah, so you also have contacts if you want to set up contacts. I don't personally have any set up, but you do have that option. Okay, we did go over files. So you guys know about files, and then we're going to click on more added apps. So besides Word and Excel and PowerPoint, there are so many different things that you guys can utilize within Teams. There's a variety and a variety of apps. So you'll see that through this three dotted icon and also this apps button, right? So it'll just give you the huge list of everything that you can use. So definitely check that out if you want to dabble with that. If there's something you come across that's kind of a little bit tricky and you want to become successful at it, definitely let me know. Okay. We do have this help icon if you want to look at different topics or trainings for Teams, see what's new, report a problem. You can even ask the community. This is accessible to you. So definitely utilize that. And then there is the mobile icon down here. So you can scan that QR code if you would like in order to download the application to your computer. So I do have it on my phone. You don't necessarily need it on your phone. I guess it really just depends on how often you utilize it in your office. If you feel like it's a need for you, then you have that option. And that one's not as tricky to get on your phone as like if you're trying to download it on the computer and it's not downloading properly. Again, you want to reach out to our IT help desk. It's a little easier on the phone, but IT should still be able to assist you if you're having trouble with the phone. Okay, so we're getting pretty close to the end to where you guys have questions, but before I do that, we're going to go over this top toolbar. Okay, so I just want to go over some things. If you would like, you do have the option to hit back. So this arrow, the left arrow and the right arrow act as a back and forward button. So you can see once I hover over this, it gives you some pages that you can go back to, or you can just click it and it'll take you straight back to the page that you were last on, and then you can click forward and you will go to the next page. You can only use the forward button if you hit the back button. So kind of just keep that in mind. Okay. You can also search for specific messages or files or more, anything that you would like. So let's say I wanted to search for a chat because I was talking with somebody and I can't remember what that conversation was. So I'm going to type in the word test and I'm going to hit enter, and then you'll see that it'll show the messages that I use that word in, right? So if I was talking about a certain event and I wanted to go back to that chat, but I have so many messages to kind of look through, that's a great way of looking quickly for those messages. And you'll see it has like a little down arrow. So if you click on that down arrow, it'll kind of show you this little feed of the message. You can go directly to the message and it'll take you straight there. Sometimes you kind of have to let it load because it'll go to the bottom, like the most recent message, but it will pull you back up to where you used that word. Okay, so also keep in mind something I didn't cover earlier, but when you are trying to create a new chat, if you type in someone's name and they have not set up their Office 365 account, you will not be able to message them. So they have to have created that, right? So if you're trying to get in contact with somebody and their name is not popping up, it's probably because they have not set up their Office 365 account. So super important to kind of just keep in mind when you're trying to get a hold of someone, okay? Another thing before we continue on is when you guys delete messages, they may look like they are deleted, but they are not forever deleted, okay? So they do store somewhere in a sort of database that we don't have access to, but our IT office has confirmed that. So just keep in mind, you know, if somebody needed to go look for that message for some reason, they definitely could. So you may not be able to find it, but someone has the power to do that. Okay, so we're going to go to this three dotted icon. We're going to click on settings. There's lots of things under this three dotted icon, but the one we're going to focus on today is settings. I just want to show you some important things to review. So you do have the general. I personally love this themes option because you can change the screen to this dark view, which for me, I don't really like blue light. So the fact that I can change it to a darker setting is like my cup of tea. And you have this high contrast one as well. You can have everything nicely laid out in this comfy chat density. So it kind of just, fits everything nice and neat, or you can have everything a little squished, more tight, and you can use compact. You have some different views that you can use. Something important under general though is auto start application. So once you download this application to your account, you want to make sure that you have auto start checked off. This will probably help you, especially if you're trying to get into like the norm of using Teams all the time. This will definitely be something that you'll enjoy. Just how your computer wakes up though, keep in mind, just because you check this off, your computer takes some time to wake up. Microsoft Teams will take some time to also wake up. So, right, your computer's got to do its thing in the morning. And if you don't see Teams loading right away, don't worry. It may take a minute or two because everything's kind of just getting generated. Okay. As far as, we won't look too much at accounts, privacy, something that I always have unchecked on privacy is read receipts, because the moment you open someone's message, they will get this little like eyeball icon on their end when they're looking at a message that you opened it and you read it. Sometimes I feel like I need a little bit more time if I'm like multitasking, and I don't like them to know that I've read it right away, just to give myself that grace. So I always have this unchecked. That way people can't see when I've read their messages. Okay. Let's see, as far as notifications, here, let me show you something actually, because this does have to do with notifications. So if I send myself a chat, type in, and I'm typing it from my phone, you will see that this blue square pops up in the bottom right hand corner, and it shows that my message appeared, right? So it says, Abigail messaged you, hi there, right? So if you were not wanting that to pop up every time, you can go to your settings and you can go to notifications and you can go to chat. So messages, mentions, and reactions. We're going to click on edit and you can see messages. It says this banner. So what just popped up is referred to as a banner. So I have the option to turn that off, and you can see the same thing happens with mentions. So if I only want it to show in the feed, I can only have it show in my feed, and same things for likes and reactions. I can only have it to show in the feed. I personally like to have it pop up in the corner so that I can see what's going on. Like if it's something urgent, I see it right away, but you guys do have the option to turn that off. Okay. Let's see what else is highly important in here that I might want to look at with you. You can mess with your devices. Captions and transcripts, you guys can definitely turn those on, right? So it says automatically identify me in meeting captions and transcripts. This is definitely something super useful for accessibility. That's something good to turn on. And yeah, there's again lots of settings. If you guys have a goal to get something set up a certain way, just let me know and I can definitely help. All right, we're almost through. And then the last thing I want to review is your status. So very similar to how Skype used to be, it will show if you're available. I usually have mine unavailable. When I worked in the admissions office at a time, I always had it set on busy because sometimes it would truly take me a while to message somebody back, and so many messages were coming in that I was like, oh, I need some time. You do have the option to do not disturb. When you do click on do not disturb, that little banner icon is not going to pop up. Nobody can call you. It's strictly do not disturb. Okay, so nobody can get a hold of you. You have the option to put be right back, appear away, and you can even appear offline, right? So guilty myself. I have worked after 5 before in the past when I worked in admissions because it was crazy and I needed Teams open, but I didn't want anyone to know I was there. So I would appear offline. So yes, you do have different statuses that you can set, and you can even set them for a certain duration. So if I wanted busy for today, I can do that, but I can even be more specific and do a custom or every 30 minutes. Something else is you can set a status message. So let's say you're going to be out for the rest of the day. You can say, hi, I will be out of office the remainder of 8/8/2022. I will return your message on 8/9/2022, or whatever you want to put in there, right? Like reach out to so-and-so while I'm out. You can definitely set that up. And if you needed it to be set up for longer, again, you can do a custom. So you need it set up for the rest of the week because you're going to be out for the rest of the week. You can definitely do that and you can click done. Okay. And anytime somebody messages you on Teams, they're automatically going to know, oh, okay, I reached out to Abby. She's not there today. She's out of the office. So, I need to reach out to somebody else. So very similar to your auto replies that you set up for when you're out of office on your email. This is how this works. Alrighty. So that does conclude our Microsoft Teams training.
Need one-on-one assistance with Microsoft Teams? Visit alamo.edu/pack/TLC to set up an appointment with me and find my contact information. Have a great day.